Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me today. I really do appreciate your company. Sorry, I spoke too fast. And I do hope you're well as well. And ready for another episode of Misty Marsh. Last episode we were working in this area here and it's come together nicely. I still need to do vegetation, but I'm not going to do that yet. Because I appreciate you guys don't want to just watch me doing scenery all the time. You want to see habitats. So that is what we're going to try and do today. I've had an idea and I'm going to try and explain it. I want to do a habitat here. I want to link this path to here with a habitat in the middle. And you'll see we've got this pathway underneath here as well. And I want to do something interesting with that, if I can. And I'm not really sure how this is going to work. We're going to need tunneling on. Right, so my hope is with this that I can have this coming up through the habitat and eventually kind of flattening out here and joining it in ultimately here somewhere. Okay, hang on. Okay, and then joining in. There we go, like that, right. So the habitat I'm hoping can go all over the top of this, and then this is kind of under the habitat in some way. I'm not sure how. I want to create like a glass domed roof on it. So we have got in here we've got these, haven't we? So this is what I'm thinking. I may have to make this straight. Otherwise this is going to be really tricky. I'm just wondering if this is on the grid. I wonder if there's anything off grid that I could use. Let's have a look. I don't think there's a lot of off grid pieces like this, which is a real shame. Yeah, because this domed piece is just perfect, but realistically, see, that's cool, but it's not see-through, is it? You can't. Can you see through it? Hang on. If it was all white, would you actually see through it? No, you don't. I mean, you can barely see through it. Okay, so no. So I'm going to have to go grid. And this is the perfect piece. But it's not going to work around a corner. It's going to be tricky to make it work on a slope. But I can at least make it work on a slope. But it's not going to work around a corner, unfortunately. I'm not going to be able to make it look good. Right, so let's get rid of that. Right, so this is flat, so let's keep it flat until we can get it going in a straight line. So we'll bring it into here. Let's get the tunneling turned back on. We'll take it to here, and then here. Let's get it in a straight line there, and we'll angle, and we'll slope. And then we'll flatten. Okay, that's good. I can make that work. So we want, yeah, perfect. I might get rid of the hang on. I'm just going to pop that down for a second. I think what I need to do here is get rid of the railings, because then I can make, certainly down to there, I can make the sides part of this piece. Okay, so it'll start here. I want it, again, I want it to feel quite small. Like quite a low tunnel like this. And it needs to have a glass side as well, because I don't want any of the view being blocked. So let's get a nice glass side piece on as well. Here we go. Now I can judge. Right. See, so it could actually go a little bit lower. Just a little bit. Obviously, I'll have to do something to kind of hide the sides. And then essentially what I need to do is just bring it in like this, but then occasionally just lower it like that. Is that going to be... Oh, I didn't quite see that. Was that too low? Let's just try it like this, see what happens. You just lower it down one each time. Is that enough, or is that not going down quick enough with the slope? I don't think it is it? No, it's now. Okay, I think I need to... Yeah, just here I think I need to bring it down an extra one. Something like that. I don't really like that these two gaps are bigger. Very tricky to get that looking right. Plus I don't know how I'm going to fill those gaps in. Okay, let's rethink that. It's the right idea, but realistically what I've got to do, unfortunately, is I'm going to have to keep it like that until I can go right down like that, I think. Because then I think I can cover the end pieces and not have it sort of decapitate people. Now, how do these ones work? No, it's all the wrong shape, isn't it? Yeah. Right, so yeah, so that's the piece that you want to fill the gap. But, yeah, you want that... Oh, blimey, that is so low, isn't it? It may just be I just can't have it quite so intimate as I wanted. Let's see. See this end, actually this end could go down more. So let's get let's get this end. Let's get this end down like that. You've then got this end. I think has to go up. Yeah, it looks a little bit too small, doesn't it? Have I got all the pieces there? I think so. Okay, I think I'm going to have to go like that. Yeah, that looks fine. And then I think just extend this down, make sure that all of that's covered. It's very complicated, this sort of thing. Never quite as easy as you hope it's going to be. There. Okay, and then, so that's, at least it's looking solid. I do need to move, hang on, the whole thing just needs to move back like that, I would say, just so it links with this railing here. And I suspect the whole thing is just slightly off line as well. I can change this pathway a little bit to make that fit better, but yeah, the whole thing I think is just ever so slightly off center. Doesn't need to be perfect because I will line the pathway up a bit better. I'll edge the pathway a bit more solidly. Good. So let's just see if these people walk down it, what it looks like. I can now use those other pieces there. That's what they're designed for, isn't it? Yeah, so it's going to look pretty cool still. You're still going to feel like you're walking down through the habitat with hopefully the animals going over the top. Is the plan. Great. Okay, so let's just come back into here then, and let's find the other pieces. So it's this one. No, not this one. There's a grid version. Oh, hang on. I thought there was a gridded version of that. Is there not? Okay, that's odd. Why wouldn't they make that a grid piece? That's very strange. I wonder how this is going to look then. Well, all I can do is put it in and see. Yeah, I mean it looks really good. It just covers the gap nicely, doesn't it? You end up, I'll just manipulate things a little bit like that, but yeah, as a basic premise, this covers up that quite nicely. Good, so the tunnel is now sealed, so the animals can't get in and people can't get out. So that's good. So there we go, there's our tunnel done. That's kind of funky, isn't it? We've got, we've got a land bridge there, but I think I'll probably make that a stone bridge. I think just get rid of that. And I'll make that more of a stone tunnel. So the animal that's going to go in here it's going to be a monkey of some sort, I think, really, hasn't it? So that they can climb on top of this. Oh yes, I was just going to change the pathway a bit, wasn't I? So let's get rid of tunneling for a start. Let's just bring that out, and then we can link that like that, and then we can do this one, hopefully sort of break that off like that. Try and just flatten that out. There we go. That looks nicer. Good, I'm happy with that. Great. Okay, so animals. Let's get a barrier in place. So if we're going to have some monkeys in here of some sort, let's start over here with an entrance. Let's get rid of the old snapperoonie. Hang on. Sometimes these things, see, that's angle snapping, even though I haven't got angle snap turned on, which is really annoying. Sometimes they snap, sometimes they don't. And I just, yeah, it boggles my mind as to why that does what it does. Never mind. Right, let's get the habitat barrier in. So it's going to come all the way around the edge. Let's bring it up to there, and then we're going to bring it along here. And yeah, let's see about the top of these rocks as to whether that's kind of included or not. Okay, back into there. Right, so what animals do we want? That's the big question. What different monkeys do we have? I know we've got gorillas, but this isn't going to be right for them. Shout if you see a monkey. And when I say monkey, I am generalizing. Anything that swings from trees. Blimey, I haven't seen anything yet. Right, Japanese macaque. No, that's not going to look right in here. A gibbon. Yeah, a gibbon has potential, I suppose. The mandrill, they're quite cool. I know the obvious one would be the chimpanzees. Oh, I didn't know we had kiwis in the game. That's kind of cool. Nice and small. I might have to try and fit them in somewhere. Ooh, they look. I mean, just for the nose alone, they look cool. Let's just see what does something like that need. So land requirement and climbing space, doesn't need water. Do you know what? I might go for someone like him just because I haven't done them before. I don't want to just always do the same animals. So let's go with that. Let's go with a proboscis monkey. That's cool. Let's get a couple in. Helps if I can type properly. Right, Setia, Rifki, Adiratna, and Bascoro. Let's get you guys into the zoo, and then I can figure out how to make this work. I'm hoping that they can climb up on top of here. If I obviously fill in this gap at the side with some rocks. So I'm kind of thinking this kind of thing. Let's get rid of the snapping. It doesn't need to be right up to the glass. And I may have to do some manipulating to get the creatures actually right up onto these glass pieces. I may have to have stuff kind of leaning against the glass, I think, which is fine. See, and then at this end, this can become a a bridge over to this side. Like so. You know, I'm just going to keep this going along here before I really check on the animals to see what they're doing. Just because I've got this set to the right height, so it just makes sense to get this kind of filled in. Okay, what do we got here? 2 males, 2 females. Obviously some are bigger than others, that's good. Right, let's see what they can do. Excellent. Okay, so they can get up onto here. They have to go at the end at the moment, so I'll have to try and make it so they can come up on the sides. And they're not coming up onto this one yet, so I need to sort that out as well. But that's a good start. So let's go down here. Look at that, straight away there's one on the roof. That's what you want. Look at that, you want to look up and you want to see your monkeys. That's exactly what I wanted. So people can stand in here and have the monkeys walking on the roof. Look at that. That's awesome. As a kid of the 80s would say, that's awesome sauce. Okay, good. So obviously we'll get a lot more monkeys in to make sure they're absolutely all over the place. But that is a really good start. Right, let's just get some more rock work done around the edge, and then I can look at kind of just filling in the edge, trying to get some sort of custom fencing, I think, around the edge of this. Not quite sure how that's going to go yet. Let's see, so yeah, so the edge of that is fine, and that will just go up to here. I can look at this detailing later on. I just want to get this habitat looking sort of ready to go. Great, okay, let's just cover up the back side of this. Get this all looking a bit more solid and finished. Okay, good stuff. Right. So I guess I need to create something that is see-through but solid looking and not climbable. That's not going to be easy. Okay, let's have a look. Right, so wood. Now, can I filter here climbable or non-climbable? Typical. It's annoying. You can do climbable, but you can't say I only want non-climbable. You'd think that would be quite an obvious option, wouldn't you? Okay, let's go beam and see if any of them are non-climbable. Clearly some of them are. Ah, okay, so this one is non-climbable, that's good. What else have we got there? What's this one? Planet Zoo beam round. Yeah, so that's climbable, which we don't want. Do you know what? It's fine because we've got this one, the Arctic beam. So this is not climbable. So I can work with this. Let's just make sure. I don't trust the game sometimes. Let's just move that in there. Just make sure it says they can't climb it. Good, they cannot climb it. Excellent. Okay, so we want to create something here. We want some kind of mesh. I need the old snapperoonie on. Whoops. Oh dear, it's all going wrong, isn't it? Up we go, good. Now, I know obviously in real life they would climb these things. I'll tell you what, let's just check actually, see what it says. Yeah, they're not going to climb the mesh either, so that's good. But for the sake of the game, if I can use that as a fence, I think that's going to work really nicely. It's really simple, but it's kind of what I need here. Because I can manipulate it right around the edge, kind of exactly however I want it. And I don't need all the bits overlapping because they can just go side by side like this. Especially once you start putting foliage in it as well. You know, you can cover up all these little gaps. But the gaps are fine because they're all separate pieces. So in real life, not everything is one solid piece, is it? So what I can do here, if this doesn't quite work, is manipulate the entrance. Although to be honest, that's pretty fortunate there that that's just about matching. Yeah, I can make that work. And then let's just try and duplicate it on the other side so it looks roughly the same. Something like that. Then we need to start coming down this way. Hopefully this is going to work. That's annoying. Right, let's just think, where does this need to go? It needs to kind of cut across this corner actually, doesn't it, onto the rocks. And I will just take this right into the rock here. Something like that. Good stuff. Now I said I wanted obviously a lot of this zoo to feel very enclosed, and this feels very open, so I will do a lot of rock work around this. So there may be instances of little rock tunnels on this as well. So it's as I always say, a big work in progress. So don't overthink things just yet. If it's not quite how the rest of the part looks. But this is something I wanted to do more of in this, so I did want to do more custom stuff. It's really hard on the pathways, especially where it's going up and down a slope. It's just such a tricky thing to try and make a custom edge look good. So that is why I'm using mainly the in-game stuff on the sloped bits, I'm afraid. But when it comes to stuff like this, and again, I know technically in real life you would not have the fence this close to the pathway. You would have you'd have the fence back here and then another separate fence on here. But we are not going for realism. This is not a realistic zoo. This is a fun zoo that I am just doing it, you know, to make it look good and interesting. So yeah, if you want realism, this is not the place to be. Oh look, he's just wandered off. Not for much longer, little guy. We are trapping you in. And we are coming towards the end of the episode again. It's amazing how quickly these half hours go. Luckily in a zoo like this, I do feel like we are getting a good amount done in each episode. And hopefully you guys feel the same. I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments if you don't. Right, where am I going with this? It needs to go a bit further on, like this. Right, that's the half hour up. My phone's beeping at me, but I'm just going to get this fencing finished because I think it's I'm kind of in the flow, you know. I don't really want to just stop. So let's just keep this going right along this front. And this will then blend into the rocks over on this side somewhere as well. Let's have a look. Let's do that, and then I'll stick another rock in there. Excellent. Okay, let's just check them out. See what it says. Good. Okay, it says they can escape there. That's because the I haven't actually got the barrier in the right place, have I? Let's bring that out. Let's just add another one in there and bring that out as well. And there we go. So that is looking pretty good now, I think. Yeah, it says they can escape. That's just because the barrier is slightly too far out, but that's not a problem at all. Excellent. Look at that. That is a pretty cool looking habitat, and I love the little tunnel. People are already going down it, which is really nice to see. And then that brings you around here. You've got your waterfall. You've got this one that leads back up around here. Yeah, good. Well, it's coming together quite nicely now, actually. I like this. Can I colour this? Ooh. That's better, isn't it? Doesn't stand out quite so obviously there. That's much nicer. There we go. So that is going to do it for this episode. Next episode we will continue with this habitat and I'll work out exactly what else I'm going to do. But let's leave it there for now. So let me know what you think of our proboscis monkey. Am I pronouncing that right? Proboscis. Yes, proboscis monkey. Let me know what you think of the habitat. Do you like the idea of this glass dome coming down through the middle here? And what do you think of the custom edging? And have you got any other ideas and thoughts? Let me know down in the comments. For now, let's leave it there. So thank you so much for joining me. I really appreciate your company. And thanks for your ongoing support as always. If you've got anything to say, please leave me a comment. And that's going to do it. So thank you very much. I will see you next time. Bye for now.